first pages of Surah Al-Baqarah. Yeah, we have already done that, and now we are on the 11th page of Surah Al-Baqarah, and we are on the 4th pointer that is going on. So in that 4th pointer, we are on the last part of that sheet of the page, where we are on the thumb, which is the first 5 of the next hand. So we have already finished half para or half juz, and now we are on the second half of the first juz. And of that, we are on the first finger is the first page, that is page number 11, represented by the right hand, and the thumb of the right hand is the 11th page. Then the index and middle finger will be 12 and 13, and then 14 and 15 will be the little finger and the ring finger. So in the 11th page, there is a thumb. The upper part were the ignorant masses and the scholars, and they're thinking that the fire would not touch them. And then Allah Ta'ala gave the rule of justice that whoever is doing good, this is what we have seen last time, that whoever is doing good will be rewarded accordingly, and whoever is doing evil will be rewarded accordingly, and according to their deeds, they will be staying in either Jannah or in the fire. So with that, we come back to our pointers. So ignorant masses and scholars, fire won't touch us, rule of justice and covenant of the Bani Israel. The keywords would be ignorant, fire, rule, and covenant. Okay. So in today's part, we are going to see the covenant and what this covenant was. So linking it with the previous verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues describing the distorted faith and the bad actions of Bani Israel, and because of that they were being warned as such. And the lessons that we are going to take from this today's ayat is that Allah's deen is same. All the prophets came with the same deen, and deen is the way or the following that we do, and for us it is al-Islam, that is a complete solution. Bani Israel was advised to do the same things, and 8 fundamental things that are mentioned here. You see each of them and what they are and how we are following that and how well we are following that. Okay. How easy the Quran is, and the new words are only few, and to learn them easily we will use the phrases. So in this we see that the new words are only 3, and most of them we already know: kurba, yatama, and masakin. So it is nothing new. Husna is also nothing very complicated, and Mu'adidun also is an Urdu word. So actually speaking, there are no new words in today's ayat, and most of the words are already known to us, but we'll see how the construction of the sentences and how the grammar of that would go, inshallah. So we are learning with word for word and phrase for phrase translation. So phrases make it easy for us to take 2 and 3 words and take the meaning of that together. This is a bigger ayat. So we would actually divide it into 2. So we would take first half first and then the second half. But normally it is not good to just break an ayat and read it. It is better to read the complete ayat. But because it is a very long ayat, we have broken it, inshallah. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي قربى واليتامى والمساقين. So this is first part of the ayah. So we already know what is adverb of time and when, right? So this is adverb of time. So it is indicating in the past. We know iza talks about future things to happen, and is past. So what is and when. Akhadna, akhadha, ya'khudhu, and akhadna is for the plural, and Allah Ta'ala uses royal plural for himself, that is akhadna. Allah Ta'ala is not plural, Allah Ta'ala is wahid, but he's using a royal plural, and he's taking وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ. Mithaqa is the covenant. Okay, so where was this covenant taken? Anybody can answer this? Where was this covenant taken? Where was this covenant taken? Anybody? Where was this covenant taken? No. So that ayat is already gone before. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ. So where was it taken? When they had gone and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had raised a mountain over them, and it was as if it was threatening, you follow this or this mountain is going to fall on you, right? So of the commandments that were given to Musa alayhi salam, here Allah ta'ala is enumerating some of those covenants that were taken, and that's why Allah ta'ala is saying that Allah ta'ala had taken a mithaq from the Bani Israel. So the mithaq was when the tour was lifted up, and it was as if threatening, as if somebody's taken a stone and is going to throw that on you. So Allah Ta'ala had raised the mountain, and it was like a threatening mode. So is akhadna mithaq bani Israel. So when Allah Ta'ala took a mithaq from the Bani Israel, and what was the first of the mithaq, the first part and the most important part of the covenant. So as you see, we'll have 8 points in this covenant, and as the style of the Quran goes, that whatever is most important will come first, right? So the most important and the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clarified, and it was same for even the Banu Israel, and after that even the followers of Isa alayhi salam, it was still the same, and today for us also is the same. And what was it? La ta'buduna illallah. La ta'buduna, do not worship, illallah, except Allah, right? And there is you see there's a kaf and a fa written there, kif. That means it is better that we stop here, because this is the most important part of the covenant one, and then the other part of the covenant will be separate. So وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ. And when we took a covenant, mithaq, from the Bani Israel, لَا تَعْبُدُونَ, that you do not worship, إِلَّا اللَّهَ, except Allah. Okay. So here لَا تَعْبُدُونَ is a negative order, do not worship. Right? We have seen that. La ta'budun, do not worship. You all do not worship. Okay. But there is a noon here. Right? For the order, what we had seen, that the noon is dropped. La ta'budu. La ta'budu. Right? So it means that here, because of the noon there, it is indicating the third person was there and they were ordered. It is the third person. When it is the second person, then it will be la ta'budu. Since it was the third person, Allah Ta'ala is saying La ta'buduna, that they were not supposed to worship except Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and be with al-walidain, with both parents. Walidani is two parents, and walidain is the accusative form of that, right? So walidain, but because of the B, it is becoming walidain. Okay, otherwise it would have been walidani. Because of the B, it is becoming going to sort of genitive case, walidain. Ihsana is to do good. Wa dhil kurba. The is with, or the real sense of the word the would be, if it translated into loose Urdu or Hindi that we use, wala, so the one who is possessing. So zu kuwa means kuwat wala, power wala. So something like that. So wa dhil kurba, which means nazdik wala. So nazdik wala relatives, the most closest relatives, also you are supposed to be good to them, right? So bil walidaini ihsana wa dhil kurba, and with the relatives. So here, why is the with come in the bracket? Anybody can tell me? We have a with written here in English in the bracket, but there is no B here. So why is it so? Anybody can answer this?
Because of Z. Z.
Because of the no. See, the can be used in different forms. It could be the, and zu. Okay. So you are right in a way because of his Z. So what do you want to answer? Like, why is it so? Z. Why is it so? Because Z is coming in genitive case, right? What it means is that the effect of this B, I just mark it out. So So this is wa bil walidaini be here, right? But because this is the and not zu, this effect of this be is extended to this words also, and here also yatama also, and masakina also, masakini, right? This be effect is on all of them, right? That's why this is the and not zul kurba. It is vazil kurba. Okay, so each word is important because of this be, right? So because the first part is over, first part is وَإِذَا خَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ. We stop there. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And this means that bil or bi dhil kurba, right? So this b is not written here, but the fact that there is a kasra here, it indicates the effect of this b is continuing. Bil yatama. Yatama has a ya here, so it will not get a kasra ever because of this is alif maksura. That's why this doesn't get a kasra, right? So vadil kurba, here also ba is with a ya in the end, so this also doesn't get a kasra. But the first part of it will get a kasra, and that's why it is dil kurba. Wal yatama. So wabil kurba also you have to do ihsan. Wal yatama also you have to do ihsan. Wal masakini also you have to do ihsan, right? So this part of doing ihsan is continued for 1, 2, 3, and 4 points, right? And of course the first part was with walidain, so 5. So you have to do good with 5. The first part of the ayah says that don't worship anybody except Allah, followed by wabil walidaini ihsana, and be good to both the parents, Wadhil kurba, and to relatives. So all of the relatives who are related to you, you have to do good to them. Whether they are doing good to you or no is not the question. Whether you are doing good or no is the question. Allah Ta'ala is going to ask you about that. And yatama means a person whose father is died and there is nobody to fetch anything from them, and they are left with maybe only a mother and the kids. So those are the orphans, and specifically Allah Ta'ala mentions about orphans at a lot of places. So we have to reach out and see that we are reaching the orphans and we are able to do good to them. Okay, and also the masakin or the needy who are strained because of their resources being less. So we have to be good to them, which means that don't expect good from them, but from your side you do good to them. So that will be a kind of a sadaqah from your side. So these are the few covenants that Allah Ta'ala is mentioning us about that he had taken from the Bani Israel. What we have to ask ourselves is, have we taken any misak or no? Right? So we'll come to that also inshallah in some time. So somebody can just take this ayat who has not done last time. I think Rashid Sahab has not done. So Rashid Sahab inshallah karenge.
Inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وإذ and when أخذنا we took ميثاق the covenant Bani Israel from the children of Israel. La ta'budun, you will not worship illallah except Allah. Wabil walidain, and with the parents. Ihsana, be good. Wazir qurba, and with relatives. Wal yatama, and the orphans. Wal masakin, and the needy.
Okay, mashallah, good. Okay, so just take some grammatical points. What is the root word of mithaq? Root word of mithaq. Mithaq is covenant. We have seen that, but what are the root words of mithaq? Anybody? Root words of mithaq. It's a weak verb. I'll give you a hint. No? Okay, it is wa, fa, and qa. Wathaqa. Wathaqa means to bind somebody with something, right? So we have this in Surah Al-Fajr also. Wala yuthaqu. What is that? Wala yuthaqa mithaquhu ahad. So no one will catch like what he catches. I'll just see that I will tell you. Wala yuthiku wathaqahu ahad. That is ayat. Wala yuthiku wathaqahu ahad means this is talking about the akhirah, that nobody catches like what he would catch on the day of judgment. Right? So that is in Surah Al-Fajr. So wathaqa is to bind somebody, or is to take a proper oath from somebody. Right? So that is the wathaqa. And then ihsan. What are the root words of ihsan?
He seen noon.
Hey, Swing Noon, very good. Hasana. Ihsan is coming from that. And which form is this?
Nasara. Nasara.
Nasara Yansuru. No. Okay, inshallah, we'll take that. We have that discussion in the grammar, so we'll take that. This is the fourth form. Ahsana yuhsinu. Right? This is the fourth form. Ahsana yuhsinu ihsanan. Aslama yuslimu Islam. Right? So ihsan is the fourth form. We will see the third form. We have not done it actually, but we will take it when we go ahead, inshallah. Okay. Right. So وَإِذَا أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. And speak to people. First it was be good to so many people, and now it is saying that waqulu, and speak. We know qala is to say, and qul is the order to speak, and qulu is the plural form of that order, right? So waqulu linnasi for the people or to the people, husna. So husna is telling you what the basic trilateral verb is. We have seen ihsan is the superlative degree of it, one, and ihsana is the fourth form verbal noun, ihsanan, right? So qulu linnasi husna, and speak to the people husna, good. This is another order. Waqulu, first it was la ta'budu, then it was ihsana, to do ihsan, wa bil walidaini ihsana, and then ihsan with four categories. Waqulu linnasi husna, and speak to the people good. So even if somebody is not a Muslim or anybody, so all people you have to speak good. Now why is this important is we as Muslims are ambassadors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if we would be speaking badly, or if we would be hurling abuses to people, we will not be good examples, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants all his slaves to be good examples and good people, and only to good people are going to be listening. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering all of us, and there the order was to the Bani Israel, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, and speak to the people good. Okay. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. So now if we see the order in which things are going, is first is لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. First is Allah Ta'ala saying don't worship except for Allah. Then the second order is being good to parents, good to the closest relatives, then being good to the yatim and miskin, and then also speaking good. And after that, Allah Ta'ala is talking about salah. So you can see the grade of what are the things that are required. We feel that, okay, we have taken iman, okay, we are praying salah, we are giving zakah, so that's it. But just imagine all these middle things we have just wiped out or deleted. We don't think that all those are important. And Allah Ta'ala is not saying that Allah Ta'ala is telling you to do it. Allah Ta'ala is saying that Allah Ta'ala had taken a covenant from the Bani Israel for the same. Right? So a part of that covenant was وَقُولُ لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, and after that Allah Ta'ala is saying وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, and then Allah Ta'ala is talking about the prayers or the salah. Wa atuz zakah, and then Allah Ta'ala is talking about giving zakat. So just see the order in which how things are going. Allah Ta'ala is first talking about iman and the belief and ibadah for Allah only. Then Allah Ta'ala is talking about being good to parents. Then Allah Ta'ala is talking about talking to other people in a good way, and then comes salah. After zakah, and after salah will come zakah, right? Then Allah Ta'ala is informing them, thumma tawallaytum, then you all turned away. Illa qalilan minkum, illa except, qalilan a few, minkum of you. Wa antum mu'ridun, you already know antum is you all, mu'ridun is refusing. Simple Urdu word is i'rad, right? So this is the order that goes. So in this part of the ayah, Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ, and you all were refusing, right? So just see how Allah is saying that all of you all did not turn away, only some of you were on the right path, and most of you all turned away. And if you see, there are very few things which we feel that all of us are doing, but we have to question and analyze ourselves. Are we doing all that well? Are we good to our relatives, or are we abusing our relatives, right? So we have to, if they might be bad, they might not be responding in a good way or whatever, but we have to be good to them. So this is the order, and this is the mithaq that Allah Ta'ala has taken. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, thumma tawallaytum, then you all turned away, except very few who did not turn away. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, wa antum mu'ridun, and you all were refusing. So what are the root words of mu'ridun? Root words of mu'ridun.
Ain, Re, Dal.
Ain, Ra, and Bod. Very good. And then what form is this?
Aslama, Arada, Aslama.
Yes. Aslama, A'rada, and with that we get Muslimun, we have Mu'ridun. Right? So if we just consider the basic form or the trilateral form of this, I'll just write that so that will become a little clear. So as you said, the root words are Ain, Bod, and Ra. So we know in Urdu also, Arz kiya hai. Arz kiya matlab pesh karo, present, right? And Allah Ta'ala used this word with Adam as salam also, that he presented with in front of him the names of a lot of things, Arada. And when it becomes with an alif in the fourth form, Arada, right? Arada, then the meaning becomes refuse, right? So the meaning completely changes. One is to present. So you know in Urdu also say arz kijiye. Yeah, I've written wrong. I've written the raw letters. You have to ain, raw, and dot. Sorry. Ain, raw, and all. Arz. So arz kijiye means to present, and another means to refuse. So they are totally opposite meaning. One is to present, and one is to refuse. So once the form changes, the meaning is becoming completely opposite. Okay, one is to present, and one is to refuse or to take away or not to follow. So just the form change is giving a completely opposite meaning to the thing. One is to present, arv, and one is a'rada, means to refuse, and with that become mu'ridun. And with that, the verbal noun of this will be i'raz. I'raz karna, koi cheez se i'raz karna, we say in Urdu. The dod is pronounced as zod, so that will become i'rab. I think Qazi Saab is trying to join, but he's not able to join. There's some connectivity issue with him also, I think. Okay, so who will do it? Dr. Abu Mohsin Saab, आप करेंगे? The audio is coming okay? Yeah, can't hear you. Yeah.
Audible?
Yes, now it's good. Yeah. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقولوا للناس حسنا
You make it
وأقيموا
lin
الصلاة.
nasi. Nase becomes majhul and it's not read the right way. Nase is wrong. Nasi. Lin nasi.
Nasi.
Nasi. Yeah, you said nase. So it becomes majhul, and majhul is not the correct way to read.
Nasi
Yeah.
حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون.
Right.
وقولوا and speak للناس to the people husna good وأقيموا الصلاة and establish the prayer وآتوا الزكاة and give the zakah ثم توليتم then you turned away إلا except قليلا منكم a few of you وأنتم معرضون and you were refusing.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. Okay. So what are the lessons that we are going to get from this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds Bani Israel that they have become used to disobeying and refusing to accept the truth. They made covenants with Allah and still broke them. It has a message to the Muslims of Medina of that time as to not to be surprised with their rejection of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they are used to this behavior of rejecting the truth. What is the message for us is that we should not disobey Allah or reject the truth. Apply the formula that we always use: ask, evaluate, plan, propagate to each of the 8 areas that are there in this particular verse. So do not worship anyone other than Allah. Be good to parents. That's the second order. Third is be good to relatives. So that B is carried over. This be good. B is being carried over to the relatives, to the orphans, to the needy. Speak to the people in a good manner, whoever they are. So here it doesn't say the only relatives, good and needy, and parents. It says any person. Lin nasi husna. Okay. Establish salah, that is pray with jama'ah in time and fulfilling its required. So it says aqimus salah. So we had discussed this before. Qama yaqum means to stand, and to make somebody else stand, which is the fourth form. Aqama yuqimu means to establish. So establishing prayer. Okay. So, and then comes the order of zakah. So as we see, the order in which the misak was taken and was this way, that first was the worship, then being good to parents, followed by relatives, followed by orphans, followed by needy, and then people in general, be good to them because you are da'is of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you should be good, only then people are going to listen to you. Then establish salah. So when you're praying that salah, the salah will be also effective, and the people will also appreciate you if you're having all these other good characters, and pay zakah. So how excellent the society will be when all follow Allah's guidance. We will become the best people in worship, in manners, in attitude, and in every aspect of life. But unfortunately, we see our people fighting, especially in our areas where our community is dominating, or more of us are there. We find people fighting with each other, and all these things are very commonly seen. But we have to go back to the Quran and understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wanting from us. We go to Hadith narrated Abu Baqarah. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Shall I not inform you of the biggest of the great sins? They said, yes, O Allah's apostle. He said to join partners in worship with Allah and to be undutiful to one's parents. So again, this hadith is telling us the same thing, right? This is the ayat repeated again. So this is the full ayat together. And recall when we took the covenant from the children of Israel, saying, do not worship except Allah, and be good to parents, relatives, orphans, and the needy, and speak good to people, and establish the prayer and give the zakah. Then you turned away except a few of you, and you were refusing. So we saw these lessons. Allah's deen is same. All prophets came with the same deen. Bani Israel were advised to do some 8 fundamental good things, and that too were advised. So help me excel in each of these 8 areas. If I'm weak somewhere, we have to work on that and try to improve our relation with our people, try to search out for orphans and try to help them, and needy also. And now with the situation that we are in, we have a lot of needy people, so there's no excuse. I will make a plan on how to implement the list of 8 activities, especially in areas where I am weak. Okay. So these are the words. Asma. Walidun is one parent and walidaini is 2 parents, that is both mother and father. Yatim is singular and the plural of that is yatama. Yatim, yatama. So here we have an extra ya at the end, and because of that it did not get a kasra. Then we have miskin as a singular, and the plural of miskin is masakin, right? So Allah Ta'ala is not asking you to help just one miskin. He's saying that look out for masakin and help them. Then salah is a single salah, and the plural of that is salawat. Salah, salawat, ata, because this is a feminine ta, and it will end with a ata. Ta'budun, this is easy. Abada ya'budu nasara yansuru. So abada ya'budu, u'bud, abid, ma'bud, and ibadah, right? So now coming to the word that we were discussing before, hasuna. This form we have not seen before, so I will go a little more in detail of this. Sorry, let me go one back. Yeah. So hasuna. So we have seen Bab Nasara, Bab Sami'a, Bab Fataha, Bab Doraba. This is another Bab, which is, you are seeing a kaf written here. And this is Bab Karu. Sorry, this is wow. It will be Bab Ka, Ru, and Ma. Okay. So ka with a pesh, ru, and ma, and the present tense of that becomes yak rumu, right? So this has a dhamma, and the present tense also has a dhamma. The Bab Nasara has a fatha, and the present tense has a dhamma. Nasara yansuru, right? So here we have karuma yak rumu. This is the Bab karuma yak rumu. Okay. So here we have dhamma in the ain kalima. This bab we have not seen till now, but it has dhamma both in the past tense and dhamma in the present tense also. Karuma yakrumu. So on that comes the word hasuna yahsunu, both having a dhamma. Hasuna yahsunu. Okay. This bab we have not seen, so I took a little more time for this. So hasuna yahsunu uhsun. Uhsun means be good. Hasanun, the one who is doing good, and one on whom is done good is not mentioned here, and husnun, and that's why husna comes from here, husnun and husna, right? So this is the verb for the basic word hasana, trilateral verb, and ahsana become ihsan. Ahsana used to mean to do good on somebody else, and the verbal noun of that is ihsan. Okay, right? So with that we go ahead with the weak words. So akhadha means to take. Again, Bab Nasara yansuru, akhaza ya'khudhu, akhaza ya'khudhu, and then order is khudh, and the taker is akhidh. What thing is taken is mahuz, and akhzun is the verbal noun. Qala is gone a lot of times. So qala yaqulu qul, and qul order is for single, and for plural be qulu, as we saw qulu. Wa qulu lin nasi husna. So that was an order to say and speak to all of them to do good. Qa'il, the one who says, maqul, the thing that is said, and qawl is saying. So then we have the word kalil, and the kalil is coming from the root words of qaf, lam, lam, and this is on the pattern of dalla, yadillu, dil. So qalla means to become less, yaqilu, he is becoming less, killa means make it less, kalil, less, the person who makes it less. There's nothing like the passive participle here, and kallun is the process of making something less. So on the pattern of dalla, we have dalla, yadillu, dilla, dalil, and then we have dalla as the verbal noun. Okay, then the mazid fi forms, we already saw ahsana, ahsana, yuhsinu, ahsana, yuhsinu, and ahsin, muhsinun, muhsanun, ihsanun. Then we have aqama, yuqimu, aqim, aqama salat, establish, aqama salat. So aqama, yuqimu, aqim, muqimun, muqamun, and iqamah. So iqamatus salat. Qazi Sahib is not able to join somehow. So maybe in the second half he should be able